Well, hello, resilience family. We're here a little bit early, guys. I had a mix up with the time zone with my wonderful guests I'm about to introduce, guys, but we're here and we shaking and grooving. I just want to welcome all to another episode of Resilience with Dawn Olivia, and it's been actually a wonderful week, y'all. It's been a wonderful week and the beginning of a new week. And I'm grateful that we are here, that you are here. So thank you for tuning in. If you're listening now, if you're listening later, I thank you and appreciate you guys. So today, y'all, we have a phenomenal gentleman that's joining us. And I'm just proud that he's crossed my path. Man, his story is one of resilience, one of strength, of courage. And he's turned it into this wonderful, wonderful business, Atomic Bubbles. And I am actually kind of glad that it came my way because we know what's out here in this world and who's behind these products, you know? So much ado, as they call him, Mr. Bubble Man, aka John. How are you doing today?
Oh, Dawn, it's a good day. Now that we're talking, it's a good day. So it's been raining here a lot in St. Louis, but today the sun peeked out, so I know that was a good sign.
Yes, very good. Well, it's sunny here, of course, in Arizona. It's a little warm today, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the day. I really am. So tell everyone a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
Wow. Well, John Ryder's a 61-year-old guy that has made a living out of playing with soap water bubbles. It didn't start there. My wife and I have been in business. We've been married 36 years.
Wow.
Lovely wife Beth, who's the backbone to our company and to my life, and we have three wonderful daughters that are all married now, and just a guy that's always been kind of searching and have done many different things in my life. And the last 25 so years have been devoted to playing with bubbles, Dawn. That sounds kind of crazy.
I love it. It just shows, you're still a kid at heart, It's just genius. Like, why not? Like, I still take walks and go and swing on the swings. That's my little piece of joy and, a good part of my childhood. And I just love it. It's freedom. It feels free to me. Yes. So why not swings and bubbles,
Yep. You made a good point, just for those childhood memories you had of the simplicity of, swinging on that swing, whether it was in a playground or off a tree in the backyard. I think bubbles, I found that bubbles touch people in the same way. At very young ages, kids played with the bubbles. Here I am, a 61-year-old guy still playing with bubbles. And I know when I get to events and festivals, I got people that are 91 years old. But they're still loving bubbles and, remembering back to that time, maybe when they were a kid and they were blowing them, simpler times in their life,
Yes. So before we dig into your life and how Atomic Bubbles became, tell me your meaning, your definition of resilience.
Wow. I think definition of resilience is no matter what's going on in your life, no matter what has gone on in your life, if you can get up every morning, put your shoes on, get up, get dressed, get out the door, and get back to life. I think for me, that's what resilience is, because life isn't as easy as we'd like to be sometimes. So I think that's what it is. Get up every day and doing it.
I agree. I love it. That is really good. And it's crazy how long I've been doing this. I really never thought of it that way. Every day you just get up and you doing, not throwing in the towel. That is amazing. I love that. I have to add that to my everyday thought now. I'm an affirmation girl, and I like to read them in the mornings. What get me going and get up out this bed, because sometimes I don't want to get up out this bed. But that is really good. So let's for me, I'm guessing let's start at the beginning.
Sure.
And let's talk about what inspired you really to take that leap from your respective careers that you used to be in, like engineering and physical therapy, into the world of bubbles.
Right.
How did that become?
It was me meeting a product in the mid 90s when the internet was just getting going. I think it was Netscape 7 or something with the dial-up modem, so I'm on the computer
Yes.
looking. And I had found a gentleman, or found a product. He was advertising this product called Technobubbles, and he claimed that they were bubbles that glowed under blacklight.
Oh, wow.
And I'm kind of a blacklight guy. I love blacklight posters. That vivid colors is kind of my thing. So I thought, wow, this is pretty crazy. This guy has done this. So I ordered some, Dawn, and they came. And I remember my wife and I were in the kitchen, and we turned off all the lights. I turned on my black lights, and we blew these bubbles, and they worked, and they were these glowing orbs. And I thought, this is crazy. And for some reason, the little kid in me just kind of went bananas. And to make a long story short, my wife and I, over the next year or so, kind of bought the guy out and became the voice and the name of Technobubble. We bought his company and patents, trademarks, formulas, and then we started doing the bubbles at that point. That was some 25 years ago.
OMG, that's been a long time. Wow. Yeah. And I'm just hearing about this. But anyway, wow. It's amazing because my heart, I always work with children. I'm always doing something, with kids. And I always bring animals around. I have I have to get a new service dog now. But I always bring a service dog around, for emotional wellness support,
Sure.
And this is amazing. Like, I'm just ecstatic. I'm ecstatic. So you've turned Atomic Bubbles into this business that gives back.
Yep.
What role does service and community support play in your mission?
I think, it plays a lot, and it kind of ties back to that resilience. So, when you get out in the world and you get a job or you have a career, I think, first of all, you're looking at, hey, how's this going to provide for me? Is this going to make me income? Is this going to be able to, allow me to live? And that's a very important thing. You need money to live.
Yeah.
I think what Beth and I found, because we started the bubbles on the side and kind of eased our way into it over years, but what we found is that exactly what you stated there, as far as community and really the impact of what we were doing at festivals, at gatherings, at daycares, at nursing homes for elderly folks, when we do our bubble programs and shows for them.
Wow.
And I never really thought that it would affect you. I was just kind of an entrepreneur, businessman. You're out there, new idea. But it really started saying, it's like, wow, these people are really getting into this, and seeing those smiles and that joy from the young and the old. Dawn, I mean, I think that's when it really started hitting me that this is way more than bubbles. This may work way more than soap water. Way more than, way more than just making us a paycheck too. I mean, we were having kind of an impact, and I don't think we definitely didn't know it, or really probably didn't even set out to do that, but it came to us,
Man, the joy. I think that's what really caught the joy that you see on people's faces, something as simple, like you're saying, as bubbles. I think that's amazing. I really do, because I love bubbles, and why not? And I have to, seriously, I have to, I like, why not? Why not? Yep. So I want to dig a little deep into the story that you told me when we first met. I want you to touch a little bit on your struggle time, your tough time when you was dealing with a certain diagnosis, if you don't mind talking about that. I want to give a little resilience, some encouragement To people that might be dealing with this too, or even if it's some other type, of illness, that you could stand in the midst of it and still come out strong, if you don't mind.
Sure, absolutely, love to. Yeah, we were chatting a couple weeks ago when we first met, and yeah, I had gone into the doctor with what I thought was what my wife was certain was a pneumonia. Okay, I just couldn't shake this cough. Went
Right.
in, and doctor looked at me and said, "Yeah, sounds like you got a pneumonia. Going for a chest X-ray." And the chest X-ray showed a mass in my chest that was not supposed to be there. It was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, stage
Mm,
4 cancer,
wow.
and talk about knocking a guy, who thought he just had a bad cough, and
Right.
they come back with stage 4 cancer. It's like, holy cow, where's this coming from? And it changed our lives. We within 3 days I was receiving my first round of chemotherapy, and yeah, for 6 months it was a pretty tough time, and a couple of near death situations, and but
Yeah.
that was 11 years ago, sweetie, and I'm here
Wow.
11 years. So I'm here today to say that things that come into your life medically that you don't know. Um, you just,
Yeah.
I guess resilience, right? Came into play,
Yes.
and digging in,
Yes.
and just doing it every day. I mean, it was kind of like every day was a fight. Every day was a fight. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
but,
Wow. Well, I think that's amazing because you said 11 years ago, and here you are still pushing and kicking, and doing what
but
you love.
I still got the same hairdo though, baby. Check it out. You know the
I
good,
love
the good, yeah, the good Lord took my hair there, and He didn't really want to give it back to me. So hey, I just roll with
it. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. I love your tenacity, your wit. It's amazing. Seriously, just amazing to see it, you know. I have a nephew that just, oh Lord, and don't get me wrong, I don't even know the name of the cancer, but they found the mass on his knee. He was playing baseball and just had so much pain, and the knee just kept swelling. And like, what the heck, that's when they found the mass on his knee, and so they had to
it.
do surgery and chemo and all that good stuff. And thank God, he pushed through, got through all of that, and was able to walk the stage and graduate high school. And now he's trying
Mm,
to figure his world out.
right, right.
I guess the other 18-year-old. But when I heard your story, I was just like, oh my God, this is just amazing. The fight that you put through. And like you're saying, the love that you have from your wife, your backbone just to be there, again, that strength, that tenacity, the resilience. It is amazing. And here you are shaping this
Here,
company, doing what you love.
yeah. And it does take a community, I mean, during those times, and even now in life, I mean,
That's
having my
good.
having my wife, my family, my friends, my church around me. I
Yeah.
mean, there was always somebody coming to the door, with dinner, or saying, they're praying for me, and the cards and all the love coming in. But I think so. I think I was so thankful for that. But I think we got to remember that people still need that too when they're not having that diagnosis. I think we need to get around people, and just
Yes.
share and love
Yes.
them,
Yes.
and be around each other as a community. Whether you got something, I think a traumatic experience brings that out, and brings the best
Yeah.
out in people. But then sometimes we kind of drift. We just think everybody's doing okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
staying close to one another is pretty important, man. Really important.
I love that. Oh my God, I love that. I did a segment before talking about community, and it is very important to
Hmm.
tap in. Like you saying, may it be family, friends, or may it be your church,
Right.
or some type of social club you join, whatever. But community, I believe you're right. It is so important. to have. I always tell people I'm a loner. I'm in this world, doing it by myself. But low key, I'm not. I'm not. I have a good sister crew that's around, and my daughters too. And God, first and foremost, that pushes me, and I love it. So I love that you said community, John. That warms my heart. All need community. We all
Yeah.
need community. So, okay, you have a bubble factory, right? A mobile business and even pet bubbles. So, what have been some of the biggest challenges and lessons along the way?
Yeah, there've been plenty. It seems like every day a challenge, or if you're open to it, a learning comes in. I think
Mm.
for us in the early day, like with running crews with our mobile event, we always lately we found it tough hiring the crews.
Oh,
Finding people today is tough. It's
yeah,
the same old thing you hear everybody, trying to
yeah,
find folks that want to work, that can work, that'll show up. Um, uh,
right.
um, that's been hard, and we've kind of had to shift along those means to kind of that's kind of
Hmm.
why we shifted more into manufacturing, because we had better control. We needed a
Oh, that's good.
handful of people versus 15 or 20. Okay, and
Okay,
and for us, that was a good decision for us to make. Still love the event business, still love getting out in front of crowds and doing it, but
hmm,
we kind of had to look at quality of life and what we were doing. So
yeah, yeah, that's good.
um, so that the office and the warehouse, the bubble crew that's making bubbles every day and bottling and packaging and shipping things out. As you mentioned, our pet bubbles have become quite puppy love and kitty love bubbles. Just got back from a trade show last week in Orlando, and that was super fun.
Nice.
Showing new product to new people and new buyers. So we're excited about that, and I'm sure we'll have some challenges with that as hopefully orders start coming in, and we try to ramp up production and get more bottles out the
Totally.
door. Yeah.
Totally. Oh yeah, all these pet lovers out here. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a phenomenon. I see it. The pet world is huge. It's like everybody's babies now. You know what I'm saying? This is my baby. Why not? So I think that was quite genius of you guys with the pet bubbles. I was like, what? I was like, okay, I can see this, especially with the cats. But anyway,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that was quite genius. That was quite genius.
Well, that
So,
kind of it came to us kind of on a whim too. We were at a party, and it was right around COVID, and all my friends
mm,
know me as the bubble man, and we're at a friend's house, probably meeting outside on a patio, and she goes, John, jokingly, you ought to make bubbles for dogs and cats. I bet everybody's getting dogs now during the pandemic. You probably you know do well with them. And it was one of those crazy things that was said at a party, but I went home that night and it stuck in my brain, and then I just started doing the research, and then truly that's how we got into the pet bubble biz. A friend happened to mention it at a party, and I picked up on it. And I think that's something to share with your audience is, you never know when an opportunity is going to come, or you never know
mm,
when somebody's going to say something that may seem like a joke or far-fetched. But
that's good.
if you get it and put your spin on it, you could, I mean, I'm sure a lot of crazy things have happened, but people saying something, oh, I wish, or, people should do this, but then it's that person, that guy or that gal that takes that and, it runs with it.
Yes, that's good. Oh, that's good. I'm always keeping me a notebook
Mm.
and jotting down things,
Yeah.
especially when someone says something, or just something to come to mind wherever I'm traveling to, and I have to write it down because I forget. That's just me. But I agree with that. And you just actually put a light bulb in my mind for another guest I had that gave me an idea for a coffee mug. And I'm about to go back and look at my notes because I know I wrote it down.
Dawn,
So I'm like,
Dawn, you
yes.
never know. That could be the next pet rock, hon. You know, you could be.
Look, I'm telling you, I'm about to go dig in these notes, man. I'm about to dig in these notes. I am. I thank you for that. See, that triggered. I was like, yes, he said that. And I was like, wait a minute. I know I got something here in my notes too. That is good. That is good.
Yeah.
So, for our listeners who may feel stuck in their current path, what advice would you give about embracing creativity, fun, and faith in their next chapter?
Wow, that's a great thing right there. I think, before I became the bubble man, I worked at many places, but my education was aircraft engineering. So I went to work for a company in those days called McDonnell Douglas, right before Boeing bought them. So I was working at I was working at a huge company, 40,000 people. It was one of the biggest employers in St. Louis. And here I am, I'm stuck at my desk job. And I knew from the moment I kind of got in there that it wasn't going to be for me, but I kind of had to go through it. And so during that time, there was parts of that time where I was just miserable. I didn't like going in. I didn't like pushing paper. I'd rather be out doing it with my hands. I would have rather been out on the assembly line building the planes than actually, drawing them on paper. But my mind kept going, and that's when we started our first company, which was an electronics company, which was an alarm system company, and did that on the side. I think the biggest fear for people who are stuck is they don't know how to get unstuck, and they're afraid to make a move. Like they're afraid that they're gonna maybe fall deeper, or they don't know where to start. And I would encourage anyone to just somehow just go after it. I mean, obviously you have to have somewhat of a safety net and go after it logically, but it's that first step, I think, Dawn, that is the key, man, because so many people stay in their job 20, 30, 40 years and they're miserable.
Yes.
And they're not fulfilled, they're not able to be that complete person because they're so bummed out about their work. And it takes a toll on them. I mean, you can't be the person. You mentioned God. I mean, God's a huge part of my life. I know your life too. And it's like having him, trusting in him and having him guide us and offer it up. I don't know, but it's that leap of faith. You got to take it.
That's good.
You got to take it.
That first step. So I don't know if you hear that in the background, that little chihuahua, she barking like crazy right now. And I'm just waiting for my bubbles to come. But anyway, that is good. That first step is huge. And what's crazy is, John, some folks, people don't know. I don't share much, but I just actually quit my 9 to 5 recently, like really. And it's time, like you were saying. If you're stressed out or it's just not for you, I don't know. I just go to God, I pray. I'm like, we got to figure this out, Lord. What is my next step? But I know this not it, especially when it's affecting my health, my rest time. And enough was enough. So, I am excited about what's next, that next chapter. Like you saying, when that shift happens, go with it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And after that first step, you just gotta, that's again where that resilience comes in, man. You've got to keep getting up every day. You got to keep moving forward. Because even owning your own business isn't, it's not peaches and cream all the time, and very hard days, stressful. But I think I tell people, they ask me, what's it like owning your own company? I said, well, you have the best of the best days and you have the worst of the worst days, and kind of everything in between. But if you pick the right path, you'll have way more better of the best days. I guarantee you. I mean, troubles come along, I think, to keep us in line.
Right. I agree. I agree. So, John, anything on your heart that you want to share with everyone, with the world?
Well, I after I got off the phone with our pre-interview last week, I
Hmm.
really thought, what a wonderful woman. What a wonderful mission you have, Dawn. And I think I've met so many people in my life through bubbles, through things I've done. But I think there is a lot of good out there,
Yes.
and the world. You don't have to go too far to see how messed up everything is, and the media
Yeah.
puts all the business in your ears, and
Yeah.
sometimes you just got to tune it out and say, hey, it's that trust in God, it's that belief,
Yes.
it's that belief in yourself,
That's good.
and the belief in others around you, and we have to live together and trust each other, love each other, and the world's a better place, man, if we do that.
I agree. No, I totally agree. I totally agree. Um, the main word I took today in church today, my pastor said we have to always trust in Him. He said, even though, yeah, they tell us, to believe in you. Yes, you want to love on you, but always trust in Him. Keep Him there. And I believe when you do that, things just fall into place no matter what you're going through, you with your diagnosis, having your wife by your side, pushing through. And who knows what was going on with her, and how you could support her, vice versa, just like I tell people, there's like they don't know why I'm here, when I lost my son. I said, because God got a mission for me. He put this in my lap for a purpose, and I just can't turn my back on it. And that's how I found this, what I'm doing now, talking to you, John, with others, bringing some positivity, some hope to other people. Also to
Right.
bring some support to you and what you're doing, I love it. It just warms my heart. It makes me feel good. And I just walk on my chest proud. And I be like, all right, God. But yet I try to stay humble.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And probably one of the worst things you had to experience with your son and go through, but look how that was used on. You're
Yes.
here now doing what you're doing, and
Yes.
God has a plan, and He had a plan for
Amen.
you. You just didn't know it. Your son's
That
looking
part.
down. Your son's looking
Yeah.
down, and we're all going to be together again. But you've got to go. Sometimes you don't understand, like me. Why did I get cancer? Why did he almost
Yeah.
take me from this earth? And
Right.
there's a reason. There's a
Yes.
reason, and if you're open to it, you'll get it. You'll find it.
Exactly. I agree. I agree. So again, tell everyone about atomic bubbles, how they could get their own bubbles.
Oh, oh man, I love it. So yeah, so we're out on all the major. So if you go out to your Amazons, your Etsy's, that sort of thing, you'll find. If you Google pet bubbles or puppy love bubbles or kitty love bubbles, you can also go to atomicbubbles.com, and we put a little special gift in there for your listeners. If you put in resilience in the coupon as a coupon code, we're going to give you 15% off your total purchase. So if
Awesome.
folks want to go to our website, atomicbubbles.com, use the promo code resilience. We're going to give them 15% off. And yeah, we'd love it if you're looking
Yes.
for something new and fun for your pets, give it a try. We're a homegrown, family-owned operation, and we'd love it if you'd give us a try. And really love the opportunity being here with you tonight, Dawn. Truly, it's
Yeah.
really special for me to be here with you.
Likewise, likewise, such a blessing. And like I tell all my guests, John, thank you for giving us some of your time. I truly, truly appreciate it because we don't get our time back. It's precious. And I am grateful. And thank you for the discount. I'm going to get my bubbles. I'm going to tell everybody to buy you some bubbles. Look, even if
Exactly.
you ain't got no pets, go buy you some bubbles. Okay. Look, and it's just me. But I appreciate you, John, so much. And wait a minute. wife, Beth. That's her name, right? Beth.
Yes, Beth.
Tell
Yes,
her
Beth.
thank you too.
I
Such an
will.
honor.
I will, darling. Thank you and your listeners. Okay.
I appreciate you so much. So, my resilience family, y'all, see, despite what you go through, you still could push through it. You still could grow through your trauma. You still could grow through your difficult times. And we just spoke to John. He has just warmed my heart. And I hope he has warmed your heart too, guys. So, a time of bubbles, go get it. Our resilience family, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. And as I always say, stay safe, stay well. And you already know, right? Stay resilient. Until next time, be blessed, guys. Be blessed.